wait some minutes. Maybe you can need more patience to know about data detection and response and CyberServal. So before I introduce our data detection and response, I think you need to know the CyberServal. Who is CyberServal? What CyberServal do what? So the first part is about our company introduction. So I will introduce the CyberServal. So in my presentation, I will have some focus question, and after I finish my presentation, you will have some quiz, so you can get the gift cards and so on. So maybe I think everyone need to pay attention to my presentation. Is it okay? Yeah. If you have any questions, just to put your question into our chat box, it is okay. And we will have some people to answer your question. So for our CyberServal, we are a data security leader in China, actually. So you can see we got a lot of honors, such as we got the #1 in CTF and hacking contest. And then during that time, we are very interested in to cooperate with global internet companies such as the Apple. So in 2020, Apple operating system voluntary hunting. We are also to deputy leader of the Huawei Open Harmony Security Council. So in the Black Hat meeting, we joined 11 times because we have been invited to present our research at the security conferences, because you know it's a global CyberServal, it's a global cybersecurity meeting. For our patents, you can see we got a lot of invention patents from the United States and Europe and China. Many of them has been already used in our DDR products. Yeah. And for the company corporation and some owners, so you can see that. And we have been collaboration with Apple. So we are the member of the Apple Architecture Review Committee 2024, and we got the very good honors from the Apple company. And you can see we were recommended network security vendor brand for 2023 and 2024. For the cooperation with the Huawei, so we know that Huawei has the Harmony security system, and Harmony was very popular in China, even in the global. So we are the Open Harmony Security Committee, and we are the Huawei Terminal Security 2022 and 2023 outstanding partner. So you can see we got a lot of honors. It's a part of the honors for CyberServal. So for this page, you can see that we are very glad to let everyone know our CyberServal. So you can see the picture. So we can see the picture. The left picture is about the external, and the right picture is about the internal, and the bottom of the picture is about the platform. So it means that CyberServal can provide those products for you, for our companies, for our clients. So you can see that for the external, we can see that if you imagine just one people want to do the cyber attack, to do the company's internet, so we will have proactive defense such as like this SAST, ASCP, and we also have the network perimeter security such as the WAF and NDR, ADR, and DD. So if the people just going into the internal internet, so we can see that this was a server. So from the server, we have the cloud workload protection platform. We call the CWPP, and the database security audit system, DAS. So for the PC or your laptop, we will focus on the data detection and response. We call it as next generation DLP. And electronic document eruption is about is the EDE. So for the people, if they want to send the data out of the internal internet, so you can see that we will have such as a network data loss prevention NDLP and the email data loss prevention MDLP. So it's about the data leakage path. So those words about the external and internal. So we also provide the platform like the Security Operation Center SOC and the VRM. So you can see that CyberServal has provided a lot of products. So we can know that it's about our CyberServal. And you can see that it's about how many products we can provide. Yes, 14. That's great. So we will mainly focus on the next part. It's about our DDR. So DDR is a super near way to stop data breaches. So we can see the red picture of the DDR. We call it as DDR because we are the data detection and response. And we also call it as next generation DLP. Maybe I think a lot of people in this meeting know this, that DLP, but the next generation DLP, what is it? So I will introduce in detail. So you can see the environmental security. So in the bottom of the picture, and you can see that it's about the such as the privacy protection and the punishing protection and desktop management and so on. It's about your data, environmental security. And then you will know the technology. The technology we always see is about such as the UEBA, enhanced watermark, AI large language models, and the full life cycle data monitoring, and so on. It means that comparing with the basic DLP, we also have the full life cycle data monitoring. It means that we can know your life cycle of your data flow. And then we will know the function, data detection and response. It means that we know the dataset map, and we also have the dataset scanning and so on. It means that we can let every people know your PC data, the data on your PC, and we will scan it, and then to do the detection and response. The detection is mean that we will help you to do the data classification and grading, and then you can set a different data protection policy to do the response. You can see the scenario. Scenario is about the such as the audit and traceability and data security governance and your core data protection and so on. So for this way, you can see the left of this slide is about the effective. We know that such as the DDR, they will use on your PC, on your laptops. So it needs to be very effective, because it can integrate the multi-technology to achieve more comprehensive analysis and control. It need to be very light, because we know you can see that the number of this, the endpoint installation package is less than 50 MB. A CPU usage is less than 3%, and the memory usage is less than 100 MB, and so on. It need to be very light and fast. First, we know that if we want to do this, we need to deploy it, right? And it need to be very fast to go live. It within 1 hour. And for the large file detection, it's very faster comparing with other DLP. So we call it as next generation DLP. And then the stable. It need to be very stable, because we know if you want to install DDR on the PC, it need to be very stable because it will run with your PC and so on. And then we will know that for the for CyberServal, we also have the consulting services. It's also the part of the CyberServal that we can do. So just like the left picture, you can see we have the data security consulting services. And we can do the data classification, grading consulting services. And we also do the ability assessment, risk assessment, management system, and the technology system, and so on, and even the edge audit. And we also have the security services. The security services, we also mainly focus on the code audit, emergency response, and the security training and response assessment, and so on. Yeah. For our team, so we can know that. So our team was come from a lot of companies, such some mainly come from some famous global famous security company and internet company, such as from the Microsoft, Alibaba, Didi, Tencent, EY, and so on. So you can know that we have got a lot of invention patents from the China, US, and Europe. And we also been invited to the Black Hat even 11 times. And our team was even have more than 10 years working experience in security industry. And we also have over 60% of the products research and development team for the headquarter retail. So you can see we also publish a lot of academic papers in some for our research achievement present and academic conferences. You can see a lot of paper was published. It represents our CyberServal have a lot of patterns and about the data detection and response skills. Now, we will mainly focus on the data detection and response, the DDR solutions. This is about our part 2. So why we call as DDR? So maybe in this slide, you can know that we call as DDR because the DDR was DLP plus IRM and UEM together. So data loss prevention, I think a lot of people has heard about this. And we also have the insider risk management and unified endpoint management. For those two functions, I will introduce in detail in the later presentation. And so we will mainly focus on if we want to know the our data security in my laptop. So what data do I have? What happened before about those data? If the data sent out of the laptop, when it happened, what can we do? If we can get some evidence when the data was out of my laptop, oh, I think it's better than before, is right? Yeah, right. So we can see that comparing with the DDR, we mainly focus comparing with the detailed comparison with the Forcepoint because we know Forcepoint was do the DLP. So comparing with the Forcepoint, I think the CyberServal DDR has some advantages, such as we combine the DLP and IRM and other parts in one single agent. It means that all those functions can be built into one agent. It means that it's very designed for today's needs. And the number 2 is about track the full life cycle of the data with content and context. Because we know if we can do the data flow of the sensitive data and know the full life cycle of the data with content and context, it means that we will know the full life cycle of the sensitive data. And number 3 is about reduce the false positive by over 19%. It means that it will save analysis time and improving accuracy. And the last one, I think the cost. It means that reduce the cost with a minimum maintenance and a unified platform with simple operations. The secure team is very like this function. Okay, so for this one, you can see that for our DDR, we will adapt the CS architecture with optional dual server and distributed setups. We can also support running on the Windows, Mac, Linux, and those operating systems. So you can see we also have some to support some IAM protocol and email and cloud app and so on. So you can see that for endpoint agent and remote control, even you were a traveling user, you can also use the DDR in your PC. I will introduce if our clients want to install the DDR, can we do this? And we have 4 steps to do the endpoint data security. So the first one, we know that is the deploy endpoint software. Yes, we know if you want to do the data security thing, we need to have the deploy endpoint software, and the endpoint data security must be actionable with the deployment across all users. Yeah, all the departments is very needed. And then if we can install the DDR in all the PCs in your company, we will know that it can help you to do the step 2 is about the data asset mapping. So from the step 2, they will define a classification and grading list and conduct a full data asset scanning and identification. So it will help you to present a data asset map. It can help you to draw the data set mapping and can help you to know what kind of the data I have, what level and what classification of the data we have. Okay, now move to the step 3. It means that implement grading protection. So in the step 2, we have drawing the data set mapping. So we know we have done some work, some part of the work about your data classification and grading, and then we will do the implement grading protection. We know that if we put your data, if we set your data to the level 1 to level 4, so it means that we need to set the different security policy in DDR. It means that we also need to communicate with all the departments to communicate their different level of the data. So it means that it can help you to implement the grading protection. So the last part is about the security awareness. So for the security awareness, it means that a lot of security team was very interested in this step. It means that if the people want to send the data out of their PC or laptops, I can know this. Even if they can send some sensitive data out of the PC, they need to have some strategies to control this, and we can got some evidence if some data loss accident happened. Yeah, right. And so I will introduce those 4 steps one by one in detail. So steps 1 is about the deploy quickly and efficiently. So we can know the left of the slides. You can know that the server deployment in 1 hour. Yeah, because we put all our DDR server install package into 1 Docker, and you can upload the installation package, and you can only one-click installation. It is okay in the Linux server. It's very easier, I think. And for the endpoint deployment, we know that a lot of people use some PC such as the Windows or Mac, even the Windows and the Mac in the company. Yeah, right. So we know that we can very easily to deploy via such as the desktop management or domain controller for silence installation. It's very important because the people they will not know this, they cannot feel this. So users can also log in via IAM QR code or AD authorization and so on. And for the Mac, I think one point I need to tell you is that no need to disable Mac OS SAP. It's very difficult for other companies to do the DLP, but we can do this. It's our advantages. And then we will know the supporters will such as we will use such as WhatsApp, Slack, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Skype, and so on to have internal communication, and we support user Symantec with AD domains. And then Windows can install package is under 50 MB with minimum memory usage below 100 MB. So we are ensuring low performance impact. It can also work with such as the antivirus, EDR, and eruption tools in the PC. For the data submap, so we know that the first step is we install the DDR, and the next step we will do the data submap to gain the clarify of your data. So how much data do we have, and which data is sensitive, where it is. So you can see that we have some data recognition engines, such as we will use the file format, keywords rejection, and OCR machine learning, and all those things to do the recognition engine and to draw this data set. So you can see that they will have the different level and the class and department and staff and the data in his piece in his laptop. So it's very clear for you to know how much data do I have and which data is sensitive and where it is. Yeah, it's right. And when you know what is your data, and you can draw the data map, and the next step is step 3. You will know the balancing the security and the work efficiency. So you know in your PC, we will have a lot of kind of data, such as unstructured data, such as the Office document, PPT, PDF, and Excel, and so on. And we also have some images, and even we have some 3D models and design, and so on. Those data. So just like I give an example, we can see that from the level 1 to the level 4, so we will have the published data, internal data, sensitive data, and secure data. Secret data. So for this one, we will know that we have the we can set different data security policies to do this, such as we can see set the audit, tracing, alert, watermark, text, approve, block, and so on. So we can also have the video recording and the screenshots for you to record the data out of your PC and or laptops. So it will help you to apply policies to different sensitive data accordingly. For last one, it's about the step 4. For this step, we will know the comprehensive audit and the efficiency traceability. So such as we will support the behavior auditing, it means that we have the risk scores, we can set the risk score and to record your behavior, some people's behavior. So even the people want to send the data out of their laptop, we will set the different scores. And if they got the enough scores, we will give you the alert. And then we also support a lot of watermarks, such as we have the visible, invisible QR code, and the printing application watermark, and so on. Every watermark, if you want to set, and you can do this on DDR. And another thing is, I think is very popular, and I think is very good in DDR. A lot of our customers that has been used DDR told us it's very good, such as the like the screen recording and the screenshots. It means that they will capture the screenshot before, during, and after a risk event, then upload them to the server. And we can also to upload a 10-second video before and after the incident with the unique technical to the reconstruct the event. It means that if the people send some sensitive data out of their laptops, it can have the screenshots and the screen recordings. Now move to the compliance driving remediation. I think a lot of people, a lot of companies, they will have some internal audit engagement in their companies, or they will also have some compliance engagement in their companies. So if their risk department or internal audit department do the internal audit and risk assessment engagement, they can use DDR, this function, to help them to do the compliance driving remediation and help them to find the internal data security risk. Now move to the part 3. It's about our DDR schemes. We have a lot of scenarios about the data loss prevention. So you can see that if people download the data from the Java, SVP, Jenkins, and GitLab, and so on, they will have a lot of formats such as the DOC and images and core data and so on. Yeah, right. So we know a lot of departments will use it, such as finance department, HR, sales, engineering, and so on. And they will use such as hardware, software, watermark, and so on. We can support such as if the people want to send the data out of their laptops, we can record pop-ups, block, and approve. We will have a lot of response actions. It's very flexible for you to configure the response actions for different data and users, and recommending a range from the easy to difficult. Yeah, right. And for the next one is about the channels management. We know that if the people want to send the data out of their laptops, they can use a lot of channels to do this, such as the cloud storages, browsers, cloud notice, and IAMs, and so on, and other tools, I think. So I think our DDR development team has been considered nearly 100% of the user management needs. If you have some personal needs about your channels, so tell us, we can support it, because I think we have enough development skills to help you to solve these problems. So you can see we will have to support such as the Slack, Skype, Microsoft Teams, and WhatsApp, and so on. And we can also have to support the Windows, RDP, SMB, and AirDrop, and so on. Yeah, even you have the printer, Bluetooth, and UDisk, and so on, we can also support it. So we just to pre-configure the common risk channels and customized channels in our DDR. Now move to the IRM. Yeah. Actually, I think the DDR can collect all the events you can imagine and implement unified controls. So for this part 1, I think our UEBA engine has been to set the different perspective from the insider and the outsider. So in this part 1, we think that we will know that a lot of people send the data out of their laptops. The mainly data loss risk was always happening in the company internally. We know that. So in DDR, we will have the insider perspective from such as the data operating events, clipboard activities, email, source code, and IAM control, and so on. We will have the insider perspective. And we also have the auto-set perspective, such as the punishing behavior and system process events and the network access controls and so on. Even we have some auto upload of the program. So we combine them all together into our UEBA. It means that we can to know the user's behavior and to analyze it and to help you to find the high risk people. Now move to the desktop and the network management. So for this part one, we will know we also combine the desktop management and network management together in our DDR. So for the left slides, you can see that we combine the software management and manage access to USB, CD, Bluetooth, printers, airdrops, and so on together. We can also to support the compliance baseline. And for the network management, you know that we have support the online behavior and the connection management. It will help you to do the network management in your company. So we put all those functions into one agent and to help you to choose what do you want to need and to help you to find what functions you need, and we will support you. For AI capability, I think AI was very popular in current companies. Even in the global, I think a lot of people use ChatGPT and so on. Even in China, a lot of people will use the DeepSeek and so on, and even Baidu and Ali, the AI module. So actually, for AI module, we can connect with your AI module to help. DDR can help to use the AI capability to help DDR to do the data classification and grading more and more accuracy, because we know that if we can scan all your data very clear and very accurate, it means that we will know what kind of the data you have. And it will help you to set the different level and different classification. Yes, we also know that we will have some pictures. Yeah, so if some pictures such as a CPU design drawing and handwritten chemical formula like this picture, we know that the OCR can help us to know the image content, to help you more and more understanding the picture's means very accurately. It will help you help the company to empower the accurate identification of the data classification and the grading. Yes, to help you to draw the data set map more and more accurate. Now move to our typical cases. So for the typical cases, we know that we have some typical client case for this. So you can see it's about the Bank of China. I think a lot of people heard about this because it's very big in China, about the Bank of China. Bank of China was our client of the CyberServal. So the Bank of China actually operates the complex cross-border financial network. You know that they will have some compliance governance from the government. So DDR actually deliver the unified visibility and compliant control over sensitive data across all the scenarios. And for the MyBank, actually, MyBank was related to the Alipay and Alibaba. So MyBank is I think is our very good client, because during this engagement, MyBank actually requires real-time automate governance. DDR actually in this engagement help them to protect the fast-moving financial data without slowing digital operations actually. and we help them to build the data security system and help them to install DDR and to help them to do the data classification and grading in Maybank engagement. For Sanyi, I think Sanyi is very good example to introduce for guys. And because we know that Sanyi was a Fortune #5 industrial group, and actually, DDR has strengthened the data security foundation for the Sanyi Group digital transformation and to ensure the high quality and rapid growth. So in this in-science engagement, we help them to do the comprehensive all-around protection system and proactive defense and security hardening. For the NetEase, NetEase is an internet company in China, even in the Southeast Asia. I think a lot of people use the NetEase Music or NetEase email even in the US and in Europe. And I think DDR actually helped NetEase to build an efficient data management system because we know that they have the different needs from the different companies. So NetEase, they want to help them to maximize their protection for the core data set on macOS. So macOS is also our advantages in DDR because we have been support the Mac, Windows, and Linux, and so on. Yes. So those are our typical client cases. And so you can know that we are the #1 DLP products in 2024 and 2025 national competition. So you can see we will provide a lot of our customers. So you can see that we will provide our service and our DDR and other products such as the Huawei and China Mobile and so on. You can see the logos on this. And one example I want to introduce this in detail is about our China Telecom best pay. So in these cases, we replace the Symantec. Symantec, we know that is very popular in the global, but why we replace the Symantec? So you can see that maybe they have some problems or connected with the China Telecom best pay. So for DDR, we can to help them to solve those pain points such as the unable to trace the leakage behaviors, user interface is not very friendly to use, and so on. And we also help them to do the data assign inventory and classification. And also we do some such as deliver logs to its Kafka server. Yes, it was set this function for the China Telecom best pay and so on. So DDR can also offer above pain points, and we can also add a function to the China Telecom best pay. So China Telecom Pay told us we want to use DDR and to replace the Symantec. Yes. That's all my presentation. Thank you for all the people to listen my presentation. Anyone have any questions, and you can turn on your microphone or type some words on your chat box to tell us. Thank you.